Hi everybody, welcome to Saturday Live at the Backyard Bird Center. Well, we spend a lot of time helping people keep squirrels out of their birdseed. How to baffle them and how to keep them from eating all of their birdseed. But we also spend a good amount of time helping people who want to feed their squirrels. They want to give them something free to eat, and they find them very entertaining. And squirrels are cute. You have to admit that. Yes, I know when they're gobbling down your bird seed or they're gnawing on your deck and things like that, they can be very frustrating. But people get a great deal of entertainment value out of squirrels. Yes, we have, multiple species of squirrels, but primarily we have two that visit our bird feeders with regularity. And of course, that's the small gray squirrel that's so famous, and especially in really heavily wooded areas. And then we have the larger fox squirrels, or some people call them red squirrels in this area. They're more of an orange and gray in color. And they are more common in open country, a little more scattered trees. But we also have chipmunks, and there's some ground squirrel in the area that we hardly ever see anymore. But they're part of our environment. Okay, if you've got trees, you're going to have squirrels. That's all there is to it. Now, tree composition will make a huge difference of what squirrels you have. If you have lots of oaks and walnuts and hickories, you're going to have more squirrels. If your tree composition is not, it's more like cottonwoods, and then you may not have as many squirrels in your area. But if you do, and you want to feed them, what are some ways that you can feed them? And that's kind of a fun thing to do. Squirrels, famously, most people will say, well, give them corn. If you give them corn, that'll keep them out of your bird feeders. Well, from my personal experience and most of my customers' experience, corn is not the greatest thing. It's not as high on their favorite list as you would think it would be. Now, corn is cheap, and that's one of the reasons why people will always say, well, if you'll put a pile of corn out there, they'll leave your bird feeders alone. I personally have never found that to be an effective method of discouraging squirrels, but for people who want to feed them, feeding them corn, you can do it. We have corn cobs, and we have mixes that have whole kernel corn in it. But if you've ever done this, you know, if you watch those squirrels, and if you're one person that keeps putting out more and more corn for them, those little rascals will just bite the heart out of the corn kernel, and they'll throw the rest of it on the ground. And when I was at Burr Oak Woods, we had a big open tray that we had corn cobs on and loose kernel corn on it, and it would just be loaded with corn kernels that the heart had been bitten out of it. What we found is as long as we didn't put any more fresh corn out there, they would eat the rest of the corn. But you can tell they were spoiled. They just wanted that heart of that. So if you're in that situation, don't put any fresh corn out for them until they've eaten the rest of the kernels and stuff. So that's the way to save you a little bit of money. But for my money, and if you're really going to spoil them, they prefer nuts, in-shell peanuts and nut mixtures. But that gets to be really, really expensive. For my money, the most economic way to feed them is just with straight black oil sunflower. That's what they're getting into your feeder for. They love them, and black oil is still fairly cheap compared to a lot of these other food options. So putting out extra sunflower for them, either on the ground or in an open tray where they can get to, maybe a little bit further away from your bird feeders, may help you with that. But no matter what, they're highly entertaining to watch as they do. Ruth has chipmunks in her yard. I don't have them in mine, but those little rascals are so cute, and they pack their cheeks full of the seed, and then they run off and they store it, and they come back, and then you see their cheeks grow where they're eating the seed, packing the seed in there, and that's entertaining to watch too. So we don't hate squirrels, and that's whenever I started to do the program, Evelyn said, you going to say bad things about squirrels? No. We like squirrels. We like squirrels a lot, but we just don't want them eating all the bird seed. And as my mom used to say, she'd say, Mark, if the squirrel's out there on the bird feeder, the birds can't get to it. I would rather see the birds than the squirrels. So there are ways around to battle them, and I've done whole videos on the ways to battle squirrels, and you can look those up on the website. But for this program today, this is a pro squirrel program. So we acknowledge that they're entertaining, and we know people get a lot of enjoyment out of them. So options to feed them. You can do it creatively, or you can do it just simple by putting seed out. But squirrels are our friends. Your neighbors might not think that, but they don't think that about a lot of things. So enjoy your squirrels. Give them food. Black old sunflower is my favorite, but also the in-shell peanuts. If you really want to spoil them, the nuts, peanut pickouts, things like that. They love them all. Right now they're pretty slow because the walnuts are dropping right now, acorns are dropping right now, and they're busy storing those. So right now it's pretty slow for squirrels if you have the right tree composition in your yard, but it'll get busier. Once the weather cools off and stress increases, they're going to come back. They want your free food and then save those nuts that they've stored up in their dens for the really harsh days. They don't come out on when it's 0 degrees or 2 degrees outside. They stay in and eat the stores they've put in there for winter, and that's when you get a little break from your bird feeders. Squirrels, we love them. Good idea for a program. Send in more ideas if you will. Give the video a like, give it a share. Until then, come by, let's talk birds.